Welcome to another episode of the Blood Knight Reacts. I'm your host, the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Afghanistan. I'm broadcasting from Minecraft. And yeah. So let's get it. I'm reviewing an episode by Gerbert's Void. And this episode is called Gen Z Does Not Know What a House Party Is. So, yeah, this should be interesting. This ought to be interesting. Don't mind the fans. Don't mind the fans. It's just a hot motherfucker today. It's just a hot motherfucker today. It's like this room I'm in. It's hot. I got a fan set up blowing air from the window. And yeah. I got some drinks over here. Can't see them. We got some drinks. We got some drinks. And yeah. Let's get into this video, folks. I want to hear what this guy has to say.
Energetic vibration shifts. I go crazy. I'm sitting good weed, alcohol.
Alright. This guy likes to party.
Really getting lit with the hose. I'm on that volley, the sand, the lean. To put it frankly, I'm just moving. And they don't like to see that nowadays. They do not like to see a white boy throw down. Imagine being able to build just by thinking about it. Meatbase 44, a complete AI creation platform.
Fucking YouTube ads. It is the devil of the beast, whatever of the beast, nature of the beast.
Just go with the flow of the motion. You let the Lord take control of you. You lose yourself, but now all these kids, they have these smartphones. This generation, and any time you try to really get crunk, there's some meanie in the corner taking some video of you, showing it to the whole world. Oh, why is he running around punching all the hoes? Bro, sorry for party walking. Can't even get lit no more. You know, this generation really just is a bunch of aliens.
Problem with kids these days, it's like too many of them are freaking hopped up on some freaking gender fluid woke ideology. Some of them are goddamn pretending to be freaking fucking deers. I was at Walmart today. I was at fucking Walmart today. I saw young man, fucking pink hair, fucking, I guess like punk shirt and whatnot. This kid fucking had a fucking tail attached to the back of his goddamn fucking shirt, pants or some shit like that. Fucking kids are hopped up on gender fluid. Parents don't want to fucking... They don't want to... Parents don't want to freaking hit their kids. They don't want to freaking discipline them. Goddamn fucking water dog. Uh, these fucking kids are fucking hopped up on fucking gender fluid. Oh, it's fucking ridiculous. The schools, it's like the bunch of the fucking schools are letting the kids cosplay as fucking cats, and they're shitting in litter boxes. Although that's a bit too young, but you get the point. You get the point. It's a whole bunch of crazy shit.
No, but Zoomers, they barely party. They do. You know, if you go to a college town, if you go to some cities, there's some stuff going on. But for Gen X or Boomers or Millennials even, it was like a very common occurrence, these high school house parties. The way I heard about it is that there was never a shortage of them. The problem was like choosing which ones to go to. I've been to a few parties in my life. Okay, let me pull up the post I'm talking about. This is from the Gen X subreddit. Were parties like this ever actually a thing? This is coming from a Zoomer asking Gen X questions. I love 90s and 2000s movies so much, and all of the teen movies have one of these party scenes. They look so fun. I'm Gen Z and have never been to anything like this. So is this a thing that just doesn't happen anymore? Or is it Hollywood trying to make me hate my life? This got a lot of attention on the subreddit. There was an X post about it. It was me. This is the saddest thing I've ever read. I've been to a few parties, which turns out.
You're not missing much by going to these parties. I never went to any fucking high school parties. Never went to fucking college, not missing much.
That might be like more than a lot of Zoomers, which is sad, but the experiences I've been to were like, they weren't like this. Like a 90s, 80s house party that would be depicted in a movie. And I kind of shared a similar question. I didn't know if things like this were sort of Hollywood embellishments a little bit fake. Like house parties happen, but the whole thing, like cops come, this like traditional American high school experience. Because if I watch something like Euphoria now, which is supposed to be a depiction of high school today, it's nothing like actual high school, right? And I'm sure there's some of that, but from the way these Gen X people are responding.
Oh, bloody freaking ads.
Yes, definitely was a thing. Absolutely, every weekend growing up, there was a massive party at someone's house. You never went to a house party. There was one basically every weekend in my town. Someone's parents were always going away. My brother was a cop that patrols the same area. He used to party back in high school. He knows all the spots where outdoor keg parties and what suburban ranch subdivisions are perfect for large gatherings. So it's been at least a dozen years since he's working on a raging 80s style keg party for the kids. Kids just don't party anymore. So I think the only place now that you can reliably find a party is a college campus, a place like a fraternity. But even then, these are probably different than they were back in the day, and also they lack a fraternity college party now. It lacks the appeal that like a classic high school house party does. And this is not.
Everything's a bit too safe these days. Everything's a bit too safe, We basically, it's like we killed the fun out of society, pretty much. Everything's too safe. Oh, let's get this fucking cap of my water. Fucking cap of this water bottle is fucked. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is.
Just anecdotal stuff that people are pointing out on social media. This is real. There's real data to support this. And someone sent me this article.
A lot of young people, too, are drinking and whatnot.
Which compiles a lot of the evidence. Between 2003 and 2024, the amount of time that Americans spent attending or hosting a social event declined by 50%. For young people, the decline was even worse. Last year, Americans aged 15 to 24 spent 70% less time attending or hosting parties than they did in 2003. Face-to-face socializing has plummeted in the last 2 decades by about 20% for
Oh, yeah. Look, everyone... The internet, it's like everyone can communicate on the internet. It's like you don't need house parties to socialize. And it's like, Lord help you. It's like if you do try and host a house party, fuck.
Married men and people younger than 25, the decline exceeds 35%, which might explain why these groups seem to have fewer friends than ever. It's also true that Gen Z is doing things associated with partying, like drinking, way less. A 2023 survey
Oh yeah.
share of adults under the age
Young
of
people
25
are drinking less.
dropped 10 percentage points in 2 decades. Alcohol tends to be a social drug, even for young people, so part of the decline in underage drinking could be related to less in-person socializing, said Coob. On average, the amount of time people spent with friends in person decreased from 30 hours a month in 2003 to 10 hours a month in 2020. All of this, the amount of, I shouldn't have to come read the data, people know this, the amount of evidence and stats about all this crap is overwhelming. And I'm kind of seeing two different ways that people are looking at these trends. And one is to say that, well, this is good. This is good because the young people are not falling for the same traps of drugs and alcohol and party culture and casual sex and all this stuff. They're being good. They got their heads on straight or something. And partying, that's lame anyway. It's like you're just sitting around getting drunk, degenerate behavior. That's one angle I've seen.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. On one hand, it's like, yeah, kids ain't social. It's like, on one hand, it's like kids are on the straight and narrow. On the other hand, it's like, that's freaking boring, you know?
But the other angle is to say it's not like these young people are virtuously declining alcohol and partying. They just do not have social networks like people used to. There's just not the opportunity. They just don't be doing shit. And my position is that while sure you can say it's good that young people are doing these things, the reason why is very boring. Back to this X post, parties are boring, just a bunch of people standing around and drinking. What's fun about that? And the original poster says, okay, never mind, this is the saddest thing I've ever read. House parties were the best. I honestly feel so sad if this isn't a thing for youth anymore. They aren't missing anything, they are missing everything. And the thing is, I don't really know. I haven't really...
Depends on the house party, I guess.
The parties I rarely attended in high school, it wasn't like that. And I've been to college parties, but I didn't find those enjoyable. So I have no idea. But you're looking at these people like, oh, you didn't miss anything, you're just standing around drinking. It seems like a bit of a code. I mean, if they are how they were kind of depicted in these films, and that's just normal, like a fun... I mean, that just doesn't happen anymore. It does seem like a great youth fun...
Yeah. One hand, it's like, this mouse I bought for my laptop, it's fucked. Oh well. On one hand, it's bad. On the other hand, good on the kids for staying on the straight and narrow, but they're getting fucked up on like other ways, you know. All these god fucking gender fluid.
Experience. It just isn't happening because of social decay. I get how you can say that about something like going to the club, about robber party culture, but an old school house party, that's like the next level vibe. That's a different thing. It's more than just drinking and doing all this degenerate stuff. It's like communal.
Some people have sex, you know.
People doing things. It's easy to look at something like this as a young person and just start feeling down because it's just not there anymore. You just feel like you're in a decaying place.
We're all in a decaying place. I'm in a decaying place.
A lot of people
called fucking Canada.
Even if they're like very social people, parties like...
Yeah, I'm living in Canada, folks. I'm living in Canada, and yeah, we're set to become the next Venezuela, or the next Brazil. Yay! The Brazil of the fucking North. Cheers to that. Cheers to fucking that. Actually, multiple water bottles here. You can't see it, but fucking... Everything's fucking decaying. We are all decaying, ultimately. we're all reaching that point. It's like in the movie Star Trek Generations. It's like Soren said. It's like time is a predator. It's like, yeah, comes for us all. And yeah, Canada is set to become the next Venezuela or the next Brazil, which is gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. I wonder what. I've always wondered what it would be like to be part of a fucking gang or something. I don't know. Be like part of a street gang, militia, some shit. As Canada turns into Brazil or Venezuela. Always wondered. No, Canada has loaded itself up with Indians. People from an entirely different culture. When shit hits the fucking fan, and it will, you're gonna have large groups of Indians banding together or fighting each other. Either way, yeah, we have all these ethnic groups. It's like, if shit goes down, shit's gonna fucking go down. I tell ya. Shit ever fucking hits the proverbial fan, yeah. It's not gonna be good. Not gonna be good.
It's not like they never happen. They probably happen in some places, some high school scenarios. It's just they're very rare. And these used to happen everywhere, all of the time. Small towns, suburbs, cities. We're not living the same.
High school I went to, there was a fucking kid. No, there were two kids caught fucking in the upstairs gym. They were caught fucking. That was a fun story. Old.
The same thing's true there. Yeah, I mean, people can cope, but stuff like this probably was very fun. It probably made youth enjoyable.
Canadians across the country count on the Explore Internet to stay connected. That's why we've upgraded our fiber and wireless faster home internet to
YouTube ads. Fuck me.
And way less empty.
Oh well, I guess the video is unintentionally sponsored.
I'm not here to complain about it. I'm really here to explain it. I want to dissect the reasons why. So the most obvious thing that people will point out, people are opposed to it, is technology, the limit on technology. The internet, the digital age.
Yep.
And there's some truth to it. It's just not the main thing. But I'll talk about it first because, yeah.
Kids don't need. It's like people are using. You got Discord and you got other stuff. People are just using alternative means to communicate with one another. They're having like group chats. You know, they're going online, they're video games, all that jazz. For those of you who don't know, see these? They're not going to be recycled today. They're going straight in the garbage. Alright.
Smartphones, the internet, they did change socialization forever. Now people can stay home and go on the internet and be entertained without having to go out, seek experiences.
Oh yeah.
When you go to a party, people will be on their phones instead of engaging with the hubs because you're nervous when guys will pull out and just confront.
Oh yeah. Even in the bars, I heard from people, it's like, you got everyone staring into their phones. Which is sad. It's like you're going to a bar, you're going there to like do bar stuff. Don't do drinking. Maybe pregame some drinks beforehand because shit's expensive. And yeah.
socialize differently. They're on Discord, they're playing games, they're on voice chats, whatever. And there's a whole thing
Oh, yeah.
where you can be recorded at all times.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
to be connected. So your inhibition.
No one. Everyone. Yeah. Everyone's got their phone. Everyone's got their phone. Everyone's recording shit. Right now, my camera, I'm using an app, connecting it to my phone to my computer, which is pretty nice. There we go.
Issues are higher. So this is what these type of people are saying. Parties don't get wild because anything stupid you do will be on TikTok before you even get home. Phones destroy society. These parties used to be secret. You had to know where the house was at, be invited beforehand, or crash. No one let their guard down anymore because everyone was filming. Cell phones destroyed all the freedom we used to have. Every weekend was an adventure. It's true that always having these smartphones can destroy the the connection of social events, especially for young people. But it's not really that young people are less social and more inhibited at these parties. It's that they aren't happening to begin with. Parties are not being thrown. So that's a very incomplete answer for why. And the whole thing about young people staying inside more because of the internet and socializing over the internet.
You know what? Like, back in the day, though, it's like, back in the 70s, I'd say, yeah, way back in the day. It's like, they didn't have that many, it's like, you had TV, radio, and radio. If you wanted to watch the latest movies, you had to go to the movie theater, you know? You wanted to listen to some music, you had to physically go out there and buy it. You had to, there was no streaming, there were no video games. Video games were in their freaking infancy, and even then, that was a social thing you did. You go to an arcade. It's like, back in the day, it's like there was less things to do back in the day. Now, we got streaming services, we got piracy. We got streaming services. It's like young people these days, it's like they can binge watch any anime, TV, or whatever. You got video games, whole host of that. You got Minecraft. A whole bunch of stuff, you know.
This is true, this is happening. Young people are socializing on the internet in lieu of socializing in real life. But this being a reason for people not having parties anymore is a mixed cause and effect. So let me give you my theory. There's a famous study that you've probably heard of called Rat Park, and it's used to give you different angle on the psychology of addiction. When rats are placed in a cage by themselves, there's no other community of rats.
I've been gassy today.
Water bottles on each side of the cage, one is water, and one that is laced with heroin or cocaine. The rat is alone.
Ladies, we just bought one thing, and that's a natural body wash for our guys, of course. With scents like pine tar, wood barrel bourbon, coconut castor oil, and fresh falls. With Cascade Platinum Plus, I have upped my dish game.
Oh, it's in that dishwasher.
Watch it.
Platinum Plus gives you the highest standard of clean, even in your machine.
Clean enough for you?
Yeah.
Scrape, load, done.
Oh my
Cascade Platinum
goodness.
Plus.
Freaking YouTube ads.
Will continuously drink from the wastewater bottle until it overdoses and dies. So this keeps on happening, right? You put the rat in the cage alone with the two bottles, it always goes over and slurps from the crack bottle until it dies. So then to further test the hypothesis, what the researchers did is they put the rats in rat parks, which means they kept the same access to the bottles. The heroin water and the normal water were always accessible. But they added things for the rats to do, and they added multiple rats, a community, in the same cage. What they found was, even though the heroin water was constantly accessible, they could go get it at any time, and it would make them feel great. I mean, it has a very powerful reward system effect. It's heroin. But the rats didn't even drink it. They take a little sip to know what it was. They wouldn't go back to it because they had everything they needed. They had activities, they had friends in the cage. So now you might know where I'm going with this. The addictive life-sucking stimulus is there. It could always be there. But if people were fulfilled, they would never turn to it. Similarly with the internet. In every house, there is a portal to
Oh, yeah.
Information highway. You have it in your pocket. It's always there. But to the extent that it replaces normal socialization is because people were lacking that socialization to begin with. I've observed this many times in my life and other people's lives. When their social life gets better, when they start having a lot of things to do, they take a big step back from the internet. They still use it, like it's everywhere, but they don't use it nearly as much, and to the extent that they do use it, they use it as an accessory to socialization rather than a replacement of socialization, which is a key difference. So Zoomers use the internet all the time for their community, for artificial community, because they never had community, not because they were rejecting a community for the artificial community. So this is why in my son.
Yeah, you got communities that's like people. You got people all over the world sharing a community, which is pretty amazing. To ask me, but yeah.
Using the internet as this boogeyman to explain away all Gen Z's social problems doesn't make a lot of sense. These problems have existed before. It was documented by Robert Putnam and people like him. Sociologists were talking about this since the 90s, since before the destruction of community in America. The internet was a catalyst that is an accelerant. Once they start using it, they can alienate themselves more, and the real world can become more distant from them. So when we're talking about this problem of Gen Z not having parties, people say, "Oh, it's the phones, it's all this." That's wrong. It's a lack of community. So what then is the main reason why a lot of Gen Z didn't even know that a house party was a real thing? This is why this channel exists, People won't just talk about this in everyday life. So, the one thing that is at the bottom of all of this, behind the internet, before the internet, in all of the research that I've done for all the videos I've made, is demographics. Now, when people talk, and I'm mostly talking about like birth rates, population pyramid, when people talk about this, it's corny now because guys like Elon Musk rant about it and they're running around impregnating a bunch of bitches and then not talking to them or whatever. I don't know what's going on there. And they talk about it in a way it's like a continuous civilization or whatever. Demographics is very underrated of a topic when we're talking about the whole loneliness epidemic or like why Gen Z is not partying or any of this. None of these people on the internet are mentioning it when it is the primary fact. People have no idea the impact it has on socialization when you grow up in a geriatric society. It's not something as obvious as the internet that you can just blame easily. But when you see it, when you think about it for a little bit, you can't unsee it. So there are two aspects to this. There are less young people, period, and their family situations are different.
Oh, yeah. Bringing up a good point. Boomers back in the day, you had families, 5, 6 kids, various age. You had people who could work jobs who can support that. Nowadays, yeah. Fewer kids. There are fewer kids to host parties. He's making a good point.
Parents are having fewer kids and watching them, hovering over them much more. This is a phenomenon of helicopter parents. And of course, the internet does assist parents in helicoptering their children because they can track them all the time using their phones. But you can't even sneak out of the house anymore, probably, because they're just tracking your ass. So on the first point, the average age of marriage during the baby boom was 20 years old. People married young, they had lots of kids in their early 20s.
Oh.
This group of people was the largest group of people born in the baby boomer generation. That's when everybody was having kids. So the whole culture, it basically follows that. When you're a baby boomer, everyone's young. Stuff is always happening. It's the spirit of youth. So during that time, you go around, there's parties everywhere. There's a bunch of young people doing things. There's bands, all these people forming bands, all these cultural movements. Hippies. It was in the 70s when the birth rate dipped below replacement. And it did so frequently until the mid-2000s where it finally dipped below completely, consistently. Before then it went above for...
Yeah, basically, it's like the baby boom. Basically what's happened is, fewer people are having kids. And in order to keep the amount of workers constant to do work, it's like we're importing immigrants into the country in order to supplement the lack of kids of being born. Right? Which in Canada, that's a bad idea. Because it's like those, and everywhere it's like the people they don't just abandon their culture, they don't just assimilate. They bring their culture with them. So, yeah. And yeah, I'd say the baby boom was an aberration. You know? It's like, if you were, and then, yeah, it's like, the baby boom, it's like, oh, how do I put this? Basically, there's a huge ass war. You got people, they're bringing home wives. They're basically, they're ready to go, you know. And yeah. That's what happened.
A little bit went below. My dad's a groomer. He grew up in a pretty small town in Texas. We went to walk around his old neighborhood. I'm seeing these pictures. I'm hearing the stories about kids playing in the creek, kids running around yards playing football. You know, all the stories he had.
Yeah. I grew up in the generation, it's like, we weren't complete. It's like, we did play, I grew up, millennials, it's like, we remember the old times, you know. Now, I grew up in rural Canada, grew up around wilderness, and yeah, you could go to the nearby creek with some people, you know. You could go out on some trails, wouldn't recommend that. Go four-wheeling, skidooing, a whole bunch of shit like that, you know. And it's like, if you didn't have a four-wheeler, you didn't have a skidoo, it was pretty fucking boring living out in the country, I'll say.
When he was a kid, there were a few kids next door, they had a pet monkey. He's telling me these colorful stories about his childhood. We walk around his neighborhood now.
4 weeks ago, we washed my dog's blanket, and it still smells great, all thanks to Danny Unstoppables. I was concerned that the scent would be overpowering. It was the opposite. It's perfect, you know? I genuinely love Unstoppables. One of the best things you'll ever buy.
With Framer, the things you design become real. Framer feel.
It's a sunny day outside, right? It's not school time. There's like one kid in the front yard shooting a basketball all by himself. It's not that all the other kids in the neighborhood are inside gaming and doing.
But no, yeah, it's like, what happened is like, it's like back in the day, you had a whole bunch of free places to loiter around, you know, do stuff, public parks and all that. But then it's like the boomers, they got in charge, and it's like, oh, no, you can't loiter around here, you can't do all this shit. And it's like, yeah. They basically, there are a lot of areas, it's like, they made it hostile to be outside and be a kid. You got, they got a whole bunch of fear mongering. It's like exchange of danger, all that stuff. All that's going on.
He said there aren't any fucking kids. Only as kids sitting here. I'm having this like weird experience through net memories of seeing a bunch of kids in the '60s playing in ponds, dozens of kids all over the neighborhood running around. Kids now grow up and even Zoomers.
Oh yeah, back in the day, it's like the parents back in the day. They gave zero fucks, pretty much. It's like, you know, they would just they'd just kick the kid out of the house. It's like, be back by this time, you know, 8 p.m. or something. Be back by this time. They'd have that, and it's like, They were less restrictive. They were more open. They were more open as to what you could do and whatnot. So yeah. They pretty much didn't give a fuck. So long as you returned at the end of the day, you could pretty much get away with almost murder. I want to say. I've heard stories from my mom. And yeah. It's not like today. It's like the parents have to constantly know where their kids are. Because, yeah, whole bunch of fear mongering and it's like stranger danger and all that. And PDF files, you know. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. And yeah.
In neighborhoods where they're the only young person there in the neighborhood. I just realized, in all my, like, whenever I go to Thanksgiving, whenever I had these family gatherings with, like, the main, you know, you have the main family and then you have some cousins and stuff, I'm the only person in my age bracket. Like, I was the only person who was in my teens, now my 20s, whenever I go to Thanksgiving, to Christmas. Whenever we have a family reunion, there will be some people my age, you know, where people from all over the country come together.
Well, that's good that he has a family like that, you know. I got an aunt that's in America. I got an aunt and uncle. They're stiff upper lip, spoon in the mouth, stick in the muds kind of people. It's like, oh, they don't associate with like the uncouth. How shall we say? They don't do that. So they don't generally associate with the uncouth. And yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I saw my cousins. It's like, I don't know what they've inherited and whatnot. But from there, it's been a long time, you know. It's been a long time.
And that's not too uncommon for a lot of boomers. But boomers, you know, my parents have tons of cousins their age. We really have to think about it, what this does to your socialization. People don't.
Yeah. Boomer families, six people. It was common. You had six. You could have six or more people in a family, and it's like, yeah, they could afford that.
Don't get it. People are growing up with fewer siblings, with fewer young people around them, in neighborhoods, in their local community. A lot of kids born out, you know, people are trying to pull off the whole triad thing. Those kids aren't even have cousins. Think about the classic house party of the 80s and 90s movie. That's classic American culture. Youth is culture. If there's not people making families, having more children, the culture is dying. You know, a lot of times we talk about this.
Yeah, the music today sucks. It sucks ass. I have a huge music. I got a huge music collection to myself. My mom's collection is like the old music. Old music's better. I'll tell you. It's like the rock and roll that I would recognize. It ain't being promoted. It's all indie and underground, and it's like nothing's being promoted. You got all these indie bands that, it's like you have a whole bunch of these indie bands. Back in the day, you time travel them back to the past. They'd probably, a lot of them would be one-hit wonders, but a lot of them, yeah, they'd be pretty nice, pretty good.
People think you're weird. Oh, what's for women? Oh, you just want more kids running around? Kid. You use your fucking head. People do not become socialized properly when they're an only child. They grow up in a neighborhood with no kids. Both of their parents are working. You just send them to school.
Yeah. Both the kids. Yeah, back in the day, you had, you could fucking survive on one income, and you can afford, and your wife, she could afford, didn't have to work. She could work if she wanted to, but didn't have to, because a single paycheck was all you needed to survive from a fucking single income. It's like these people, they were supporting these huge ass families on a single income. And it's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
School, ask them to think for themselves. You come home and they don't have any community. They have to use the iPad. Think about what happens. Humans are social creatures, but you have to be socialized.
And yeah, the iPads and iPhones, you give those to a kid, you're fucking their mind up for life. You're fucking their mind up for life. Yeah. It's like, I grew up in a household, it's like, we got a hand-me-down computer that had like Windows 95 on it, no internet. Then we got like a computer in 2004, have it right over here. I took the casing off to let it breathe. And yeah. But yeah. Like, I didn't get to when it came to video games, single player on the PC, Wii, and PS3. So yeah.
Property. You can't just throw a kid in the fucking jungle and he comes out and he's suddenly able to raise the host. This isn't fucking Tarzan or School's a hostile environment. You know, these lonely only children, when they get sent to school, they become antisocial. Because often the very first thing that happens in school is like you gang up and pick on the bottom rung. It's just human nature. It is what it is. When you're socialized with other young people, not just thrown into a school, but in a community.
I don't know. This day and age, no fucking way would I put a kid in public school. No fucking way would I put my kid in a public school. I would fucking homeschool. Them. I would try to find families that are doing the same thing, and I tried to homeschool my kid as much as I could, because yeah, you have these lunatic nut job teachers coming out of these schools, and they're talking about sexuality to fucking kindergartners. They're fucking talking about sexuality with fucking kindergartners. And they're talking about fucking Transformers. They're talking about how people can be a whole bunch of these different genders. It's like, no. No, it's like if you put 100 trans men on a fucking island, it's like and if you went to the island 100 years later, you'd find like a whole bunch of skeletons of like men, you know. So yeah.
With your family, with your cousins, with your extended community, it's a more warm, welcome environment, so you learn how to interact. Here's to put it simply. Community comes from family. All these people talking about a return to community, wanting to build communities, have community, third places.
Yeah. People are more isolated. It's like, I'll tell you this, it's like, I don't know who, other than the upstairs neighbor, it's like, I don't know who the fuck lives beside me. I don't know who lives beside me. Like, I don't have any interaction with the people across the road, you know? I don't have any of that. People were more social back then. Because, yeah, there was less to do. And you could have people who could work. People who only you had families who only needed one income. So it's like you could have You have the women get together and whatnot. It's like, yeah. Now it's like both people are freaking working and it's like less time for socializing. This world's fucked. And this world is fucked and when it finally lights on fire, I'm gonna be getting up onto a rooftop with a lawn chair and I'm gonna be drinking and I'm gonna be watching that shit burn.
Not enough. You're just rejecting the foundational sociological fact. Community comes from family. No family, no community. So a lot of kids come from divorced parents. We talk about house party. It's like parents that are doing well.
You wanna know why there are single parent households? It's like no fault divorce. No fault divorce. If a woman just says, "Oh, I don't feel good about this stuff. I don't feel good about this relationship." It's like, no, I don't want. If a woman goes, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Boom, she can cancel. She can fucking go get a divorce, and it's like and if you got kids, you go through the family court. As a man, you get fucked hard going through the courts. It's like, now in cases where there is instances where the man is a real shithead, in cases where there is evidence where the man is a real shithead and where he is actually abusive, it's like, yeah, sure, no fault divorce, but it's like, yeah, that would be one of the ways of like curbing divorce. It's like, get rid of no fault divorce. It's like make it so that it's like it's not a payday for like women when they divorce a guy. It's like what China is doing. It's like not only can women not take half your shit, it's like it's great. It's like in China, they're cracking down. They're cracking down. It's like they're cracking down on these women who are taking men for half their shit. And it's like they've instituted it where it's like men that don't lose half their shit in China when they get divorced. So yeah.
Have houses, that's one thing. Like people own houses. A lot of Zoomers are children of divorce and dysfunction and stuff like that. They don't have like a home that their parents own and they leave for a trip so they can go invite all their kids. None of the
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're basically all these single households. It's like we're basically setting up these kids to setting up kids to fail in life. It's like you need both masculine and the feminine, counterbalance one another. And yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I'm your host, the Blood Knight of the Old Republic of Bloodganistan. Like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, 49-minute video. Goddamn. Seemed to be 50-minute video. That's not bad. Anyway, hope this is transformative enough. Peace out. Oh, stop.